A Solution for the Problem of Gun Proliferation, and maybe a few other things, by Ron Veranda. As a teacher, as a school principal, for the last 4 decades, I've observed many things. I've seen drugs come into our schools, I've seen gangs appear, and I've seen our teenagers become more and more alienated. But the suicides and school shootings erupting across the country were a last straw. They prompted me to step beyond my regular duties, determined to create substantive change. In so doing, I have come to understand that the solutions to most problems come from unusual directions. I believe there is just such a different solution to the glut of guns in our communities. Many of the teenagers I work with do not match our society's schooling design. They're alienated from adults, and they're very short on accountability. To get them back into the mainstream of life, I know I have to come up with ways to help them understand the life-enhancing relationship of freedom and responsibility. As the principal of an alternative school for troubled teenagers, I came up with an idea I called freedom cards. If a teen wanted a special privilege, he or she had to fill out a card. On one side of the card, the student would write the freedom, explained and expanded. On the reverse side of the card, after some discussion, he or she would write the responsibilities, clearly laid out. To earn the freedom, both of us had to sign off on the card. This technique worked surprisingly well. The teens liked finding they could do some creative and fun things. The teachers and I liked the idea because we got student buy-in for mature behavior. Teenagers are not the only ones needing to learn this concept. Many adults in our society have yet to understand the relationship of freedom and responsibility. The deluge of guns in our neighborhoods is but one proof of this. We have a Bill of Rights, one of our most cherished documents, but our founding fathers somehow forgot to pen a Bill of Responsibility. A straightforward solution to the proliferation of guns would be to create responsibility cards in those communities or states where the collective consciousness is high enough to do so. Anyone making, selling, purchasing, or otherwise owning a firearm designed to kill people would, by law, be mandated to complete a card denoting that they understand their legal, moral, social, and financial responsibility for such merchandising, ownership, or possession. Anyone failing to do so would not be deemed responsible enough to have such a weapon. Freedom and responsibility go together, and maturity is not measured by age or citizenship. No freedom is denied by mandating such a card. It's just placed in a more rational, responsible format. Set into law, these cards would remind us and hold us accountable to the fact that responsibility for an action always has to match the potential for irresponsibility of the same action. Might one think twice about buying or selling a pistol or assault rifle, knowing all you have is on the line? We still need basic gun registration and background checks. True hunting weapons are permitted, but common sense says assault weapons have no place in a moral, sensible, and healthy society. To think otherwise is foolish and invites violence. But until such time as we, as a society, can think more clearly, these simple cards can make a difference. It's a way for us to meet on our higher common ground instead of at our lower, more primal level. Responsibility cards could spread nationally and do an end run around those that make decisions based on fear and false bravado instead of true courage and maturity. This technique could be used wherever individual rights infringe on the welfare of others. And from where I sit, there's no shortage of those. To become part of the solution to this problem and many others, visit my website, www.educationforyourlife.org, and also my blog, www.educationforyourlife.org/blog.